Hey everyone, my name is Mal and I'm a support engineer at Vizion. I'm going to be walking you through how to connect Vizion's container tracking API to Google's Looker Studio. We'll be using Vizion's no-code workbook solution, which you can see on my screen, as the data that will power the dashboard we create today. If you aren't familiar, the no-code workbook is a no-code solution that allows for the immediate tracking of containers without the need for writing any code. For the purposes of this demo, we will assume you're working with an order number that is associated with each of the containers that you're tracking in your no-code workbook. And if you need help setting this up to fit your use case exactly, we're always more than happy to help, and you can reach out to us at support@vizionapi.com. Okay, so our first step is to go to lookerstudio.google.com and choose to create a new report. Once that report is created, we can choose to connect to Google Sheets, which is where our no-code workbook is. And we can choose the data that we would like to import. By default, when I import the Containers tab from the no-code workbook, Looker Studio is going to generate this table for me. I want to edit the table a bit to contain each of my containers' origin, destination, and days until the container reaches the destination. So to do that, I'm going to select the table and under dimension, choose origin, destination, and days to destination. So this looks good. Now I have a table containing all of my containers with more information about where it's coming from, where it's headed, and how long it will take. Now that I have my table, I want to have a way to filter by order number so that I can simply select the order number that I'm looking at and have this table filter to show only that container. So I can do that by going to add a control, choosing drop-down list. I'm just going to place on top of the table. And then I want to edit the control field from container ID to order number. So now I can see a drop-down selection with each order number. I can choose just to select one and see my data filtered as I would expect. So I'm sure as you work in Looker Studio, you can see that there are many options for how to show your data, and there are many different ways that you could implement this dashboard. I'm interested in creating a chart that will show me the status of each of my containers that I'm tracking. So if there's an extraction failure or an issue with a particular carrier, I want to see a visual of that and be able to drill down and see the related order number and affected containers. So to do this, I'll go to add a chart and choose pie. And under the control field, I want to change this to last update status. And this is great. Now I can see that half of my references are returning duplicate payload, which just means there were no new updates. Vizion checked and there were no new updates, so we sent a duplicate payload, and then the other half are data received, so receiving updates as expected. One thing I do want to note is you can go into the Style tab and manage dimension, value, colors. And here you can edit the styling and color of the charts to be more representative of what you're trying to display. Next, I want to add a new table that will list out all of the milestones available for the container that's associated with the order number I'm looking at. And to do this, we need to create something called a data blend that will combine data from two different tabs in our no-code spreadsheet. And this step is necessary to make the filtering work on this new table that we're creating. So to do this, I will go to Resource, Manage Blends, click Add a Blend, and I'm going to name this Order Number and flatten JSON. Over here, I'll select my Containers tab. And here I just want reference ID and order number. I want to join it to another table. I'll select flatten JSON, configure the join, and it's going to join on the reference ID, which is what we want. We'll just click save. And here you'll see there are a ton of fields, a lot of different data points you can use here. I am going to pull the container ID, the event city, event country, the planned flag, which will tell us if an event is planned or complete, and the event timestamp. And then click save. Now that I have my blended data source, I can go to add a chart. We're going to add another table. As my data source, I'll choose my new blended data, which is order number and flattened JSON. And under dimension, I can choose what I want to appear here. So let's do event, city, country. We'll show the event plan flag and the timestamp. Okay, so this table is looking good. I can just clean it up a bit. I'm going to remove this order number, just show the event timestamp, the location information, the event. Again, we can remove the row numbers from the table. And lastly, we can choose to sort our table by the event timestamp. We can change this to descending so we see the most recent event at the top. And now if we filter by order number, we can see these events are just associated with this particular container and this order number. So something we can do to make this table a little more readable, we have this event plan flag, which indicates whether an event is planned or completed. We can go to add a new dimension, create field. I'm just going to call this planned or completed. And I'm entering in this conditional that says if event plan flag equals true, use the plan text. If not, use completed. And we can apply that. And then we will swap that out for our event plan flag. This just makes it a little more readable. Okay, so we've really covered the basics of taking data from the no-code workbook and making it more understandable and useful in Looker Studio. Something that I did want to showcase, although I'm not going to walk through the exact steps of how to implement it, is this map at the bottom of the screen. So you'll see if we filter by order number, we can see the next planned and last completed event for this container on the map. So we can see our vessel arrival at transshipment port is the next planned event, and the vessel departure from origin port is the last completed, and that aligns with what we see up here in the milestones table. If you have any questions about how to implement any section of the tutorial, or you have any feedback or questions about Vizion in general, we're always happy to help. You can reach out to us at support@vizionapi.com. Thanks.